Welcome to our series, Questions and Answers for a World in Crisis. Thus far, we have been able to complete many of the terms that young people send to me because they want to know what Mother and Sri Aurobindo have said. And it's meaningful for them because in their studies they face stress and anxiety, often depression, the need for concentration, etc. So today the topic is work. From the Mother. We have, every one of us, a role to fulfill, a work to do, a place which we alone can occupy. Let us offer our work to the divine. This is the sure means of progressing. Consciousness develops best through work done as an offering to the divine. Indolence and inaction end in tamas. That is a fall into unconsciousness. It is contrary to all progress and light. You must do the work as an offering to the divine and take it as part of your sadhana. In that spirit, the nature of the work is of little importance, and you can do any work without losing the contact with the inner presence. Work done in the true spirit is meditation. I make no difference between work and yoga. Work itself is yoga, if it is done in a spirit of dedication and surrender. Works of love. This is a flower. Mother's comment, the best condition for work. Let us work as we pray, for indeed, work is the body's best prayer to the divine. To work for the divine is to pray with the body. One can progress through meditation, but through work, provided it is done in the right spirit, one can progress 10 times more. It is not so easy to do work. In true work, you have to do all that is done in sadhana and much more. Usually, one works for one's own profit and satisfaction. Instead of that, one should work to serve the divine and express his will. Whatever is our work, and whatever we do, we must do it sincerely, honestly, scrupulously, not in view of any personal profit, but as an offering to the divine, with an entire consecration of our being. If this attitude is sincerely kept in all circumstances, whenever we need to learn something to do the work more effectively, the occasion to acquire this knowledge comes to us, and we have only to take advantage of the opportunity. Now that you are about to take your first steps on the path of action, it is time to decide whether you will consecrate your life to your own personal interest, or whether you will make an offering of it for the accomplishment of the work. In either case, the field of action remains the same, but the spirit in which it is done is totally different. Do work as sadhana. You offer to the divine the work you do to the best of your capacities, and you leave the result to the divine. Be faithful to your ideal and dedicate your work to the divine. Work for the divine, and you will feel an ineffable joy filling your being. Disinterested work done for the divine, the surest means of progressing. Disinterested work done with no other motive than of doing as well as possible the divine's work. For the sake of the sadhana and for the sake of work, it is always better to work silently. When there is some work to do, the less one speaks of it, the better it is. Talk as little as possible. Work as much as you can. With a quiet mind and a peaceful heart, let us do the work happily. All work must be play, but a divine play, played for the divine, with the divine. To work for the divine is very good. It is a delight. But to work with the divine is a felicity infinitely deeper and sweeter still. Do the work with all your heart and as best you can, and my help and my blessings will always be with you. From Sri Aurobindo. Work for the mother, done with the right concentration on her, is as much a sadhana as meditation and inner experiences. Those who do work for the mother in all sincerity are prepared by the work itself for the right consciousness. Even if they do not sit down for meditation or follow any particular practice of yoga. It is not necessary to tell you how to meditate. Whatever is needful will come of itself if, in your work and at all times, you are sincere and keep yourself open to the Mother. The Mother does not think that it is good to give up all work and only read and meditate. Work is part of the yoga, and it gives the best opportunity for calling down the presence, the light, and the power into the vital and its activities. It increases also the field and the opportunity of surrender. To be entirely sincere means to desire the divine truth only, to surrender yourself more and more to the Divine Mother, to reject all personal demand and desire other than this one aspiration, to offer every action in life to the Divine, and do it as the work given without bringing in the ego. This is the basis of the divine life. For you, the most effective way to get the strength you need should be to do the work consciously and scrupulously, allowing nothing to interfere with its exact discharge. If you did that, opening yourself at the same time to the Mother in your work, you would receive more constantly the grace, and you would come to feel her power doing the work through you. You would thus be able to live constantly with the sense of her presence. If, on the contrary, you allow your fancies or desires to interfere with your work, or are careless and negligent, you interrupt the flow of her grace and give room for sorrow and uneasiness and other foreign forces to enter into you. Yoga through work is the easiest and most effective way to enter into the stream of this sadhana. Yes, that is the most important thing. To get over ego, anger, personal dislikes, self-regarding sensitiveness, etc. Work is not only for work's sake, but as a field of sadhana, for getting rid of the lower personality and its reactions, and acquiring a full surrender to the divine. As for the work itself, it must be done according to the organization arranged or sanctioned by the Mother. You must always remember that it is her work and not personally yours. In the ordinary condition of the body, if you oblige the body to do too much work, it can do with the support of the vital force. But as soon as the work is done, the vital force withdraws, and then the body feels fatigue. If this is done too much and for too long a time, there may be a breakdown of health and strength under the overstrain. Rest is then needed for recovery. If, however, the mind and the vital get the habit of opening to the mother's force, they are then supported by the force, and may even be fully filled with it. The force does the work, and the body feels no strain or fatigue before or after. But even then, unless the body itself is open and can absorb and keep the force, sufficient rest in between the work is absolutely necessary. Otherwise, although the body may go on for a very long time, yet in the end there can be a danger of a collapse.